I'm feeling good right now because I get to do this taste test. Wow. Okay, here we go.
Oh, they're so good. Oh,
wow, tender, juicy, so flavorful. Oh my.
Honey, is that blood on your shirt?
Sir, it will be a miracle if your wife survives a glucose level of 635.
As I watch my doctors give my wife electric shocks, trying to bring back her consciousness for what seemed like an eternity in hell, I felt a tremendous sense of guilt pulling at my heart. Guilt because I had already had every possible chance to help her stop the disease that modern doctors call type 2 diabetes. Guilt because no one in the big pharma industry has been able to help Maria, no matter where we went and how much money we spent on drugs. Guilt because I knew I was the only one capable of helping her. But that guilt spurred me into action, for you see, that would be the day when I decided that it would all stop. I swore that if Maria survives this current crisis, I'll do anything in my power to help rid her of this terrible condition. I went through a lot, and I want to tell you about it. But in the end, I succeeded. And I want you to know this because I can help you achieve the same thing. I not only rescued Maria, but also managed to find a simple, natural, and 100% effective way to restore her blood sugar levels to normal. It was so remarkable that her doctors threw her test results against the wall in utter shock as they looked at the incredible change. Her glucose and A1C levels were perfect, and her BMI was better than their very own. It's something that medical experts are now calling the holy grail of health for all those suffering with high blood sugar. The latest university-approved curriculum is in and shows they're now preparing to present this to their students in an extensive year-long course, something that isn't making pharma tycoons too happy, especially since it was all done with zero diet, crazy exercises, or their nauseating drugs. If you have type 2 diabetes or know someone who does, you really need to listen to me today. Contrary to what all those specialists with their walls covered in, let's say, questionable diplomas tell us, the actual reason why your blood sugar is poisoning your body has nothing to do with the numbers on your scale, poor genetics, or whatever other excuse they'll scramble to find. Nor does it have to do with bad eating habits like they so shamelessly claim. It's all a big fat lie. In fact, as you'll see here today, your slowly aggravating type 2 diabetes and all the bad symptoms that go with it are just the side effects of something monstrous that's happening inside one of the most crucial yet underrated organs of your body. A silent parasite that creeps into your system the very moment you eat your breakfast, disrupts your metabolic processes, and viciously attacks your pancreas while slowly destroying your digestion. It messes up your internal organs and makes you feel like your body has turned against you. More than 24 independent doctors now warn people who've been gaining weight inexplicably without eating more than usual. You are in danger of a life-threatening ketoacidosis shock. And now we finally know why. So please listen, because I'm going to start explaining to you the exact mechanism behind this blood-decaying and metabolism-killing process, and what you must do immediately to stop it. Then I'm going to hand you over the key that unlocks perfect, healthy, and steady blood sugar levels, no matter if you're pre-diabetic or have been suffering from type 2 diabetes for decades, and no matter the conditions you developed because of it. This gives you what you always wanted: normal blood sugar levels. Over 100,000 people have already received and tested this formula successfully. Aaron, 54 from Austin, says, "For me, this method was the key to the prison cell. And since I became a free, healthy man again, all I do is live my life in gratitude and pray that as many people as possible find out about this." Joanna, 47 from Detroit, told us this: "Today, when I stepped on the scale, I wept because I couldn't believe that after all these years, all it took was this program for my uncontrolled blood sugar and weight to finally get back to normal." And Harold, 49 from New York, says, "This is without a shadow of doubt the greatest step ever made in treating type 2 diabetes." Hi, my name is Thomas Clark. I'm a 61-year-old retired security agent and I live with my wife Maria in Shreveport, Louisiana. But this story isn't about me. This story is about my wife and her harsh fight against type 2 diabetes. Over the years, my wife never complained once about her responsibilities, but despite her determination to keep all things together, there was one thing that was dragging us down: her uncontrollable blood sugar levels. It all started with a routine checkup, where Maria told the doctor about her extreme tiredness and sudden weight gain. "I'm sorry, ma'am, your test results indicate an early stage of type 2 diabetes. But don't worry, I'll just put you on the minimum dose of metformin and give you a simple, easy-to-follow diet." Simple, easy to follow, my sweet Petunia. Maybe, if you are some 26-year-old billionaire's wife that does nothing all day but eating rabbit food and going to Pilates classes. My wife is a brave do-it-all woman. She just can't eat 3 leaves per day and have the energy to cook, clean, work, and take care of our family. After months of doctor's appointments, countless meal plans, and false hopes, our very own family doctor finally told my wife the devastating truth. "Look, from now on, your type 2 diabetes will only go one way, from bad to worse. It's just the way it works for women like you." "What do you mean for women like her?" I shouted at him in desperation. "Well, you see, Thomas, she's not getting any younger," the doctor said, looking at me in sorrow. So my dear old big pharma guru prescribed her more pills and told us that if she didn't like the way she looked, we could try a stomach reduction surgery any time. That would help her lose weight and eat less. "In fact, we have a special offer this month," he said to me, smiling. "Don't they always?" "Now, there's always a risk involved, and even with the procedure, we're not sure your blood sugar will actually go down, but at least you'll be thinner," the doctor added. So what he was saying was that the only way to help my wife was to undergo some crazy multi-thousand-dollar procedure, which could cause her blood clots, kidneys failure, and heart disease. I swear it feels like they're gambling with people's lives. After looking into it online and seeing that approximately 1 out of 1,000 patients are at risk of dying within 30 days following surgery, we decided we definitely needed a second opinion. But the worst was yet to come, because little did we know back then that unstable blood sugar levels is not something you can afford to leave for tomorrow. One fateful evening, we decided to go out and have dinner with some friends at Maria's favorite restaurant. I was happy to see her enjoying herself after the stressful period we had both experienced between the pandemic and her illness. For the first time after 2 long challenging years, my charismatic wife was laughing her heart out, listening to live music and enjoying herself like in our younger years. She decided to order a small burger and had nothing else but a lemonade with it. About a half hour after we got home, she told me she was feeling sick and asked me for a pill to help her digestion. "My stomach is burning, Tom," she mumbled as she laid down, visibly in pain. I went to the kitchen trying to find those damn meds. "Dad, is that blood on Mommy's shirt?" my daughter yelled from the bedroom. I rushed upstairs in horror, just to find my wife delirious and vomiting blood. "Maria! Maria, honey, wake up!" I yelled desperately. I rushed her to the hospital, where in a split second my wife was strapped down to a hospital bed surrounded by 6 doctors, unconscious and barely breathing. "Sir, this could be the most severe hyperglycemia case we've ever seen. Her blood sugar level is 631. Let's pray she survives the night. And if she does, the best you can expect is that she'll have to be under a strict diet with daily monitoring for the rest of her life." "But she already tried a dozen diets and all of them failed her." "Then you'd better prepare your black suit because I'm afraid you'll be attending a funeral soon." That was calloused. Hearing those words come out of his mouth so easily, I swear I wanted to kill him. How does this big pharma puppet that we pay from our hard-working wages get away with talking to me about my wife's funeral? I bet Lincoln would be rolling over in his grave if we saw the amount of respect that these bastards have left for the honest working class. Desperate and struggling to hold back my tears, I walked to the hospital chapel with the only thought of falling down on my knees and begged the Lord to save my family. Little did I know that my prayers would be answered sooner than I would have imagined. Every day, I would spend a couple of hours praying and asking God for a miracle for my beloved Maria. But one afternoon, as I was praying in tears, I felt a touch on my left shoulder, and it felt like the hand of God. A silver-haired priest with an eminently serene face was there to offer me the chance I never thought I would get. "Don't let them know you heard from me what I am about to tell you. Remember, Thomas, things are not what they seem to be," he told me in a deep, warm voice. I was intrigued, but at the same time, shocked that this wise-looking man came straight to me and called me by my name. Apparently, he was not your regular everyday pastor. He was actually an extremely famous and highly praised scientist of the 90s, known for his controversial theories, as well as for contesting the medical authority of several studies funded by top 5 big pharma giants. When he told me his name, my jaw dropped because I remembered watching a documentary about one of his theories. He was in a league of his own, having had exclusively performed treatments on A-list celebrities, business magnates, and heads of state, all of whom had appealed to him to heal their metabolic disorders. You'd actually be surprised how many of them actually struggled with type 2 diabetes. And yet, all of a sudden, at the peak of his career, he disappeared from the public eye. His theories were buried, and he became a largely forgotten man. I was in awe. But why is this genius doctor sitting near me in a chapel, dressed like a priest? Could he truly help my wife? 1,000 thoughts were rushing through my mind. Now, the things he said to me, even though I now know they're 100% backed by real science, I still can't believe how real all of this is. I've met thousands, if not tens of thousands of people like you, Thomas. People that came to me in tears, desperately asking me to help them save themselves or their dear one from a ruthless fate. People who had been plagued by this terrible disease since adolescence, people in their 20s or even 80s, begging me to save them from their terrible type 2 diabetes. And they all hated how powerless they were in front of this vicious enemy. But you see, most doctors in the medical community just scoff it off and blame it on genetics, DNA, lifestyle, and other things like metabolic age. These so-called professionals don't even deserve to be called as such because I haven't even seen one who is looking in the right direction. The problem with high blood sugar is that it's not caused by genetics, bad luck, or anything of the sort. You see, Thomas, in our lifetimes, this one thing will affect 1 in 3 Americans, making it the most widespread medical condition in the United States. In 2019, Jack D. Sobel, a molecular biologist at University of Manchester, estimated that a whopping 85% of the population is affected by it at least sometime in their life. You wonder what it is? It's the price the common working class has to pay for the actions of corrupt pharmaceutical conglomerates' CEOs that poisoned our food with antibiotics. Its name is Candida. Candida albicans is a naturally occurring and usually benign yeast that grows in the gastrointestinal tract. But when it overproliferates in the body, the symptoms can be debilitating. Loads of bad bacteria as well as poor markers of digestion and absorption, accompanied with a disrupted microflora that is ready to develop a metabolic disease at any given time, are the most frequent side effects. Let me ask you a question. Did you know who exactly is responsible for metabolizing every piece of food you eat? If your answer is the stomach, think again. Did you know that our metabolic functions, such as sensitivity to insulin and maintaining blood glucose level, are actually carried out by the tiny bacteria inhabiting our intestines? In fact, according to the latest study published in the National Life Sciences magazine, the normal functioning of your metabolism is accredited to microorganisms, particularly bacteria, because their own metabolism directly impacts the host's metabolism. Weird enough, our bodies don't have an in-house metabolism, but are populated by tiny bacteria that have a metabolism and are able to break down the foods we eat. And that's when all your problems start. Those bacteria are meant to keep our body free of disorders, such as type 2 diabetes mellitus. But in order to do so, they need to be in a state of balance. Your metabolism is just a speaking convention that refers to your bacteria's metabolism. In other words, Thomas, your wife doesn't have type 2 diabetes. Her gut bacteria have type 2 diabetes. And this is not something your average doctor, paid by your health insurance, doesn't know and won't ever know. Those doctors are so fixated on ripping you off and taking your hard-earned money that he simply cannot afford to know. Actually, they teach them all this in med school, in a course called Microbiome in Health and Disease, where they perform in-class studies on a tiny fly named Drosophila melanogaster. But that's not all, because now neuroscientists have found that specific types of gut flora help a person detect which nutrients are missing in food, and then finally titrate how much of those nutrients the host really needs to eat. What the bacteria do for the appetite is kind of like optimizing how long a car can run without needing to add more petrol to the tank, says senior author Carlos Ribeiro, who studies the eating behaviors at Champalamo Center for the Unknown in Lisbon. In other words, You don't crave sugar, nor carbs. Your broken gut bacteria, infested by candida, actually does. But why doesn't anybody say a word about this? I asked him. You see, Thomas, that's exactly what I'm saying. They know, but do you have any idea how much the type 2 diabetes care industry is worth in the U.S. alone? According to the statistics, U.S. citizens pay a huge $58 billion a year to manage their type 2 diabetes, and Big Pharma is scared of losing that income. It would make sense for them to shut up scientists like me, only to keep things under the radar while they keep you addicted to their so-called solutions. After I found out about their shameful game, I was sick of modern medicine and decided to become a priest. That way I could have helped people with their illness without receiving constant death threats from their hired hitmen. The more he told me about this, the more sense it made in my head. How could I not see it before? The pain and cravings, the weight gain, all the problems Maria had over the years. It felt like the pastor gave me the missing piece of a puzzle I had been doing for years, but I had no idea how to use it. So what can I do about it now? I asked him. You see, over the years, I tested over 400 herb and plant formulas on twice as many patients, and the results were unbelievable. 95% of them recovered from type 2 diabetes. 5 of them regressed to pre-diabetes. Without question, the recipe I have right now is the pinnacle of a decade of work. This is what your wife needs to escape her condition, said the pastor. Every day, for about 2 weeks, she was supposed to have 1 capsule with her breakfast and note the changes that happened. The first few days were promising. Every time after a meal, I could see her glucose readers were at a steady 195 and not 1 milligram more. That was remarkable in and of itself, as it was taken after meals, not before them. This was still pre-diabetes, but compared to the 400 plus we were used to seeing after every bite she took, it was a huge step forward. Throughout the day, she was visibly more energetic and upbeat and no longer felt dizzy after eating. For the first time ever, she offered herself to walk Charlie, our 3-year-old Labrador, through the neighborhood instead of letting me do it. The pastor himself told me that getting back to healthy blood sugar levels would take time, and Maria should trust the process and continue using it. I must admit, I was a little worried. She often seemed to be a little apathetic in the first few hours after she started, until it finally happened. One morning, she woke up feeling incredibly energetic. I noticed her getting out of bed earlier than usual just to prepare a full breakfast for the kids before they leave for school. From there on, things went uphill. Her eyesight was getting a little better by the day. She was no longer struggling with constipation and dizziness, and she even lost around 20 pounds. Everything was going great, and when the time finally came, we decided to take another blood sugar test. Surprise, surprise. The readings were showing a healthy, steady 119. I can't describe the feeling I got when I realized I had finally reversed my wife's type 2 diabetes. I was eager to talk to the pastor and tell him that his discovery was the real thing, so I called him and let him in on the good news. Needless to say, he was excited to hear about it, but then he told me this. Thomas, this next step is incredibly important. What you don't know about this is that she's the first person to try it in this form, and I wanted to see if the results were as expected. Before this, I was mixing it up by hand to be added to water. It wasn't in capsules. But right now, we need to find more people to test this on. Can you gather some people and tell them what this is all about? In order to see if the priest's mixture worked for everyone, both Maria and I posted some ads on Reddit and in a local newspaper to see if we could gather a handful of people to take part in our testing. And we couldn't believe our eyes. After a week, 384 people, aged from 21 to 79, from different backgrounds and geographic locations, decided they wanted to be a part of our revolutionary study. We gave each of them a test form to fill out as they were using the formula to note their progress and sent them home. After running some tests in our own lab, as well as in half a dozen other private independent ones, we saw something we never thought possible. 100% of the participants reduced their blood sugar levels by at least 46%. And that's not all. 84 people eliminated crazy amounts of fat and now said that their insane cravings vanished, and some of them even said they frequently skip lunch or dinner by mistake, just by forgetting to think about food all day. 53 said they enjoy the energy levels of their children or grandchildren, being able to move, walk, run, or play sports for a whole day without being exhausted. 21 stated that their vision improved significantly, something we had to test, and as it turns out, it actually did by a staggering 73%. 15 of them started to manifest incredible brain sharpness, being able to focus and reproduce a whole newspaper page word by word just by reading it twice, while 10 others even noticed that our formula lowered their hair loss and skin infections like nail fungus, varicose veins, or acne. It was a total success. In that moment, we knew we had to make it public. I almost cracked my back as I jumped high when I saw the final product, something that would finally save people from the nightmare of type 2 diabetes. We called it Glucodyn, the one and only all-natural proprietary blend that targets the true root cause of your unbalanced blood sugar. Glucodyn is the only product in the world with 9 of the highest quality detoxifying nutrients in plants in the exact quantities scientifically proven to reset blood sugar levels for both men and women. Manufactured right here in the USA, these droppers are non-GMO and 100% safe. And the way this program works is groundbreaking. First, the powerful blend replenishes the good bacteria in your gut and flushes out toxic candida spread. Remember, the root cause of your type 2 diabetes is toxic candida spread in your gut flora that damages the function of your good bacteria, which are entirely responsible for your metabolism. Fortunately, research has shown that now there is a guaranteed way to flush candida out of your system by safely adding Lactobacillus acidophilus. A recent 2020 article published in the U.S. National Library of Medicine shows how this tiny microbe has been shown to inhibit populations of candida and deter them from establishing in the intestines. And it's also suggested that it helps to reduce the risk of candida yeasts translocating from the digestive tract. This powerful bacteria supports significant reductions in blood sugar percentage without changing your diet. Moreover, Lactobacillus acidophilus has been shown in studies to stimulate the production of antibodies to Candida albicans antigens. This means your body is not protected only as long as you take the formula, but that it also creates an antibody shield against future Candida intoxication, while also improving your metabolism. And since this ingredient is 100% natural, your gut will start absorbing it from the first second, and the blood sugar fixing process will begin immediately. Second, your blood sugar lowers dramatically and stays like that whatever you eat. Once the cleaning process is completed, the good bacteria will automatically restart their natural metabolic processes. This is extremely important because in order to restore balanced blood sugar, your microbiota need to be boosted and working to perform glucose metabolism at optimal levels. In order to achieve that, we added an incredibly precise combination of L-rhamnosus and L-casein. This powerful couple of highly bioavailable ingredients will force out the toxins that accumulated in your gut and boost the restoration of damaged microbiota. According to a 2020 randomized study published in the National Library of Medicine, L-rhamnosus was proven to improve insulin sensitivity, free fatty acids, reduce oxidative stress, and improve glycemic control in persons with diabetes. Moreover, together with L-casein, it reduces inflammation, helps your digestive system and fights constipation, and reduces symptoms and irritable bowel syndrome. The synergy between these health boosters is highly recognized for being able to kickstart your weight loss process. Once this duo is completely absorbed, it has the power to gather all of the waste found inside your GI tract and flush it out through normal processes. That's going to help you by letting the gut absorb the powerful nutrients faster and more efficiently, letting the probiotics reach through and eliminate even the most hidden candida cells. Not only that, but the feeling of swelling and bloating will go away shortly after that, since there will be no foreign substance in your stomach that can make it puff like a balloon. Thirdly, your body regains the ability to self-regulate and naturally maintain optimal blood sugar levels. Now pay attention, because from this point on, incredible things start to happen. First, you need to know that since your good bacteria have been constantly suffering from the toxic candida accumulation for so long, they need a powerful refresh and rejuvenation so that your glucose metabolism can be completely restored. To achieve that, we didn't only stick to ultra candida cleansing probiotics, but we also added glucose-regulating ingredients, Bifidobacterium longum and Bifidobacterium breve. But this isn't your usual store-bought bifidobacterias, not by a long shot. What's special about this type of bifidobacteria is that they check the two essential conditions that any blend needs in order to be effective. The microbes need to be alive and active. Once there are enough good bacteria in your gut, your miracle army is complete and ready to kick out the bad ones which are responsible for your sluggish metabolism. When combined with the Candida cleansing lactobacillus, they all enhance each other's qualities tenfold, giving your body the nutrients they need to restore everything from the stomach and the pancreas to the insulin receptors and the taste buds on your tongue. We added this with one single purpose in mind: to give you back your perfect blood sugar levels of 120 and keep it like that until deep in your old age. And finally, you melt off your toxic body fat and shield yourself against all metabolic disease. Once the Candida overgrowth has been defeated and your glucose levels are back to normal, the next step we thought about was rejuvenating the structures of your body that had been affected by long-term hyperglycemia. However, switching from the insulin-resistant state to a flexible metabolism is a tough change for any diabetic person, especially the one that has been plagued by this disease for a long time. This is why we added MCT oil to cope with the scars it might leave inside your body. A 2020 6-week clinical trial of MCT oil supplementation concluded that it increased the calories and fat that overweight men burn by 97%. During the last several years, it has become extensively used in the prevention of obesity and to stimulate weight loss. But losing that nasty fat is not the only feature of this liquid gold, because one of the many benefits of using MCT oil also include experiencing increased focus and energy and feeling full for longer. This is where your life starts getting better. Subjects that consumed it for extended periods also noticed improved skin and hair, stronger immune system, less dental cavities, clearer eyesight, better brain and memory functions, and some of them even got rid of toenail fungus. With Glucodyn, your glucose levels will be steady and your life will be carefree again. Every single capsule of this amazing formula will activate instantly, working towards cleaning, restoring, and protecting your metabolism. Now, there's something else you should know. Most of the miracle ingredients used to make Glucodyn are hard and time-consuming to source. For example, did you know that Bacillus subtilis, which is only found in marine sponges from a certain natural protected area in Indonesia, can only be harvested during spring equinox? That's approximately only 1 week per year. Also, the L. acidophilus we use contains multiple human-derived isolates, which, despite giving us a hard time due to costs, makes our probiotics more likely to colonize than those which are bovine isolated from a cow, found in nearly every conventional yoga and supplement. All these make our ability to keep high stocks on hand almost impossible. Every woman and man that has tested Glucodyn and escaped the type 2 diabetes nightmare is asking us for more bottles, for themselves and for their families and friends. Now, since you're here, your product is reserved, but unfortunately, if you leave this page, we cannot guarantee supply when you come back. Also, in order to make this formula work for you, you have to take into consideration what the severity of your type 2 diabetes is and how long that silent parasite has been poisoning your GI tract. So when it comes to how much of Glucodyn you should take, our safe response is, don't gamble with your health. After seeing the results of over 100,000 brave folks from all over the world who already tried it and unapologetically call it the revelation of their lives, we recommend taking at least 3 bottles of Glucodyn over a period of 90 days. And if you want to be completely prepared for whatever times come, then we recommend taking at least 6 bottles or more. This is guaranteed to naturally reset your blood sugar and keep it balanced for the rest of your days. Andrew Parker, a 44-year-old, says, "You were right. My blood sugar levels have been generally steady at 117 for the past 14 days. I never imagined it can be so easy to keep my blood sugar under 120. Cameron David, a 45-year-old engineer, says, "My doctor freaked out today when I showed him my tests, and I enjoyed it to the fullest. Best feeling ever. 122, baby." Jim Payton, 54 years old, says, I feel blessed and honored I got to use this solution. It's the only thing that really helped me regain my steady glucose levels and the ideal weight I've always dreamed of. Now, seeing all these stories, $347 seems like a fair price for something that can make you full of energy again, that can give you back your strong vitality, Swiss watch-like metabolism, and blooming well-being. And most of all, get rid of your type 2 diabetes. It's not even close to how much you'd spend on useless meds, test strips, and pricey snake oil treatments or diets that only fill you with frustration and pain as you see their uselessness. And it's definitely less than what you'd pay for life-threatening surgery. Really, no person should let anyone cut their stomach open. Yet Glucodyn, unlike any other product in the world, helps you balance your blood sugar levels and have your energy levels soar by targeting the primary source of your impairment. Then, there's the other thing. Given the difficult conditions we live in these days, it's very hard for us to know when our next shipment will arrive once we run out of stock. Each ingredient was carefully tested and clinically proven to 100% cleanse, repair, and protect your metabolic system. But then again, this isn't about what's easy or not. I never want anyone to go through the things I've been through, the fear I felt at the thought of my wife losing control of her senses, going blind and deaf, risk a heart failure, or even an amputation. The uncomfortable protocols she had to follow that only gave her headaches, ulcers, kidney and liver problems, hormonal dysfunction, and even thyroid issues. I never want anybody to feel that. That's why today, on this website only, you can get the quickest natural way to revoke your type 2 diabetes and regain your life back for just $69. Now here's the thing. 3 bottles of Glucodyn will flush out the dangerous parasites that have accumulated in your GI tract. They will also repair the damage that has been done to your arteries, cleanse your blood, and restore your skyrocketing metabolism that you were always meant to have. All while doing the most crucial part, helping you break free from insulin resistance, experiencing a dramatic reset of your blood sugar levels, and watching that nasty toxic fat melting off your face, arms, hips, belly, and thighs. But there is a reason why almost all of our users smartly choose the 6 bottles package. Once you go with the 6 bottles package, in just 6 months from now, you'll be able to completely regain your long-forgotten steel-strong health. You remember that time in your childhood when the only maintenance you had to do to your body was literally brushing your teeth and taking a shower now and then? No fancy routines, no countless meds before, after, or within the meals, no test strips, glucose readers, or counting carbs on every bite. Remember when food was all about taste and life was all about living, not just surviving? Because that's the result the 6-bottle option is guaranteed to give you. It also targets premature cell aging, making sure that each structure of your body is nourished from the inside, so those life-wrecking cravings, the feeling of never being full, or constant hunger will vanish in a blink of an eye. Many years from now, you'll be able to practice intuitive eating without the slightest change in your blood glucose while rocking a hot athletic body, because you chose 6 bottles of Glucodyn and created a bulletproof shield around your gut. And of course, we want to help you as much as we can. And because I know how important it is to achieve your goal and also maintain the health of the entire metabolic system. After talking to our manufacturer, we are able to offer a huge discount on the 3 and 6 bottle package when you place your order today. Sounds good? Take a look below now. Once you select your package and hit the button, you'll be taken to our secure order page. It takes less than a minute to enter your payment information, and once your order is confirmed, we'll discreetly ship Glucodyn straight to your doorstep. No one besides you will know what's in there. It's a promise. So go ahead and select below now while stock lasts. Over 100,000 people all across America and the world are now living proof that Glucodyn can finally help you lower your blood sugar to healthy levels and restore your body's natural ability to control it while giving you back your youthful energy, hope, sex drive, and zest for life. All backed by over a dozen scientific papers published in some of the most prestigious medical journals in America. The pastor and I put everything we had into this program, and we sure as sunlight stand behind it. That's why with every bottle of Glucodyn, you get an ironclad 60-day no questions asked money-back guarantee. It works like this. You select one of the packages below and hit the buy button. You give this program a try and experience the incredible results as tens of thousands of people did before you. You watch your body miraculously healed of every single symptom of high blood sugar levels. You see how good it feels to effortlessly shed pound after pound just by relaxing and letting nature do its job. And if for any reason whatsoever you are not satisfied with the results, send me an email and we'll refund every penny you invested into this program. No explanation needed. So hit the button below right now and don't risk your only chance of getting your pre-type 2 diabetes life back. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, and for the life you want to live. Look, I'm going to be very honest with you. Since you're here, you must be thinking, could this be true? And in a sense, you're right to ask yourself this question. I can tell you right now, this is not a miracle pill. This is not magic, nor was it meant to be any sort of magic. It sure looks like it, given all the good news we receive every day, but it's not magic. We tested a lot of things until we reached here, and our hearts filled with joy when we saw so many people using it successfully. I believe you deserve to be amongst those people too. But here's the thing. This product, I've pulled every string I can find to get it to see the light of day, and no BS included, it is really hard to keep up with demand. Manufacturers are giving us a lot of headaches due to the difficulty in sourcing some rare ingredients. This is the end of the presentation, so as a courtesy, your package is still reserved for the next minute or so. I believe you're smart enough to take action on this one. That part of your life that kept annoying you until now can be over soon. Make this wise choice now. Yours truly, Thomas Clark.